This is Public Policy, and I'm your professor, Dr. Patrick Stewart. The purpose of this course is to introduce students to the lens and theories through which the policy-making process is viewed. This approach will provide for a more strategic manner of analysis to allow for better understanding of what may and may not be accomplished, given resources, opportunities, and policy players. This course is designed to address theories in a two-part process, and will involve student presentation, discussion, and application of theoretical frameworks used to understand public policy. The first part of this course will provide the scientific basis for and a historical overview of public policy theorizing. The second part of the course will consider approaches to understanding public policy that are currently being used and will involve theoretical frameworks and testing their assumptions by students working in groups. A major goal of this class is to provide content-based skills that provides for thoughtful policy analysis. Policy analysis can be qualitative and quantitative. While both can be rigorous, qualitative approaches are seen as more accessible to the general public because they tell stories that people can understand more readily. On the other hand, the quantitative approach may be seen as more trusted by the general public because it is abstract and reinforces the expertise of policy shapers, regardless of the theory one chooses and its basic assumptions. The argumentative turn of the theory structures how reality is viewed. In other words, the initial choices made set up path dependencies. These path dependencies are analytic and measurement choices that in turn influence perceptions of success and failure well into the future. Being a thoughtful and strategically minded policy shaper means being aware of how these choices influence the realities of those directly affected by public policy. To achieve our class goals, we take into account the process-based skills needed in the modern work world. While students will take low-stakes quizzes that evaluate mastery of course material throughout the semester, what matters most for graduate students in their careers is the ability to communicate their knowledge effectively. When talking with higher-level executives that obtain their graduate degrees and then go on to professional success, without fail, the skills rated as most important for their career success involves writing and presentation skill sets. Writing involves both long-form analytic reports and more short-form business interactions such as memos, email, texting, and so on. For this class, we rely upon group memos to develop writing competencies. Not only is writing long-form reports a key part of the modern work world, working remotely as a team is increasingly becoming the means by which work will be accomplished. As a result, students are expected to work in teams developing and then writing a memo concerning the theoretical frameworks while applying the knowledge gained to their policy content area. Mastery of course material will be established in a two-stage process. The first stage, the podcast, will ask the students working as a group to respond to a series of questions regarding the theoretical framework being studied and how it can be applied to the local policy topic they have chosen. These podcasts are expected to last from 30 to 60 minutes, with all members participating. It is expected that groups rotate through members as moderators leading the discussion. The podcast is due prior to the theoretical framework memo, with enough time to allow for me, the professor, to provide feedback to the group. The memoranda itself, the second stage, should range from 5 to 7 pages in length, in other words, 2,500 to 3,500 words, and be organized using titles and subtitles. These memos are expected to have an introductory statement of 1 to 3 paragraphs presenting the policy question. Then there should be a brief summary of the key points of the theoretical framework in terms of concepts and measures using both course readings and additional materials that develop and elaborate upon it. This section should be from 3 to 7 paragraphs long. Next, group members should apply the theoretical framework using information they have collected on their policy content area. This should likewise be from 3 to 7 paragraphs long. Finally, the memo should make conclusions based upon the group's assessment of the strength of the theoretical framework and its application to the real-world problem being considered, as well as any lingering questions the team might have. This should be from 1 to 3 paragraphs long. The final written work is the Policy Research Prospectus. Here, at the end of the semester, students will write a succinct 3 to 5 page, in other words, 1,500 to 2,500 words, research plan concerning what is believed to be the most pressing issue to explore regarding the policy topic they are exploring, and what is the most appropriate theoretical framework to use to explore it. Like the memos, and most all policy writing, the research prospectus should be organized using titles and subtitles. The research perspective should have a problem statement that lays the foundation for the issue studied, a theory section establishing the rationale for the theoretical framework to be utilized, the specific concepts to be studied, the theorized relationship between the concepts, and it should also consider the measures to be used to best explore and evaluate the connections between the theory and the policy problem. Finally, it should posit a set of hypotheses that are both directional and null between the independent and the dependent variables. Ultimately, there are multiple learning outcomes that will be developed over the course of this class. First, it is expected that students will develop the capacity to think strategically by being aware of environmental and institutional structures, as well as their influence on the formation, enactment, and success of the public policies under study. Second, the ability to identify policy actors, their positions, capacities, and values, and how these factors play a role in the development of coalitions will be developed. Third, there will be an appreciation for the different belief systems and stories told by policy actors and how this influences public policy preferences. Fourth, there will be an understanding built regarding how community and institutional structures influence the likelihood, pace, and type of public policy changes that occur or do not occur. Fifth, a sensitivity to the variance between and contributions of both technical expertise and local knowledge in the making of effective public policy will be enhanced. And finally, there will be a cognizance of frameworks, theories, concepts, and different types of hypotheses and the roles played by the scientific method in understanding and making public policy. In short, the purpose and structure of this course is best described as pracademic. Here, there is a focus on practical application of academic concepts with an overarching goal to introduce a more strategic perspective regarding the public policy-making process as it is applied to policy issues. By working in groups on a policy topic and applying the theoretical frameworks and associated concepts to understand ground realities of the policy area, it is expected that not only will theoretical material taught through this course be mastered, but there will be a profound understanding of the chosen policy topic developed through the students' field research.